Good morning, students. Let us start our session. We were discussing about center of mass. Let's see some more concepts. So suppose in any question they give you like two masses are given, mass 2 kg is given, and the displacement vectors are given. Okay. So the displacement vectors S1 vector is given as 2y minus 4j minus 7k. Okay. And second mass m2 is equal to 4 kg and displacement vector, let's say 6i plus 4j minus 2k, like this it is given. Okay, and they ask you to find out the location of center of mass. They ask you the location of center of mass. Okay, I am showing you different models how it can be tested. So let us say the center of mass location is some position vector is r vector, r center of mass. How we have seen this? We have seen that it is m1 r1 vector plus m2 r2 vector divided by m1 plus m2. What is this r1? This is your r1. What is this r2? This is your r2. So here r vector means you will get the answer in terms of ijk. You will get the answer in ijk. In vector form they are asking you the question, you should do like this. See, earlier what you have done, you have calculated x bar individually, you calculated y bar, you calculated z bar. You know the formula, m1 x1 plus m2 x2 divided by m1 plus m2 gave you x bar. m1 y1 plus m2 plus m1 y1 plus m2 y2 divided by m1 plus m2 gave you y bar. Similarly z bar, you calculated individually. Suppose in any question they give you as a vector, so you can straight away use this equation. Okay. So here RCM vector, it is a position vector of center of mass, is equal to m1. It is 2 into 2i minus 4j plus minus 7k minus 7k. Okay, plus 4 into, see 4 is 4 1, what is this m1 m2? These are all scalar multiplication, isn't it? In vectors you should know this concept that suppose a bar is a vector and you multiply this with a constant value, it still remains a vector only. Okay, if a bar is shown like this, if you multiply this with 5, only the length will increase, it will become 5a. If you draw it on a graph sheet, what will happen? A bar was the original magnitude. What you did, you multiply with 5. So in the graph, if you have drawn this 1 centimeter, you have to draw now 5 centimeters. That is the meaning of it. So, and mind you, m1 m2 is always positive. There are no negative masses, So just multiply 4 into, what is the second vector? 6i plus 4j minus 2k divided by 2 plus 4. Same procedure. So how to add vectors? I told you that add I to I, j to j and k to k. So see, 2 into 2 4i, 4 into 6 24i, 24 plus 4 28i, 2 into 4, this is 8 minus 8, 4 into 4 16, 16 minus 8, it is 8j, 2 into minus 7 minus 14, 4 into minus 2 minus 8. So minus 14 minus 8, it is minus 22k divided by 6. So if you want to write it, it is 28 by 6. How much? 14 by 3. 14 by 3 I vector plus 8 by 6 means 4 by 3 j vector minus 22 by 6. It is 11 by 3 k vector. This is our position vector of the center of mass. Okay, just a minute. So yesterday we were discussing this integration approach. Let us see one more example here. What is this? This is a line element and it is a arc of a circle. Arc of a circle, right? And this is one extreme, this is another extreme. So this is part of a big circle. Big circle is there. You have cut a segment, making angle alpha and alpha. See, all these have engineering applications. You know why you are learning all these things. Tomorrow, when you will be doing, let us say, engineering, all this knowledge is required. You may be wondering why different shapes we are calculating. Because you know, all these things you are going to study further in your engineering courses once you do your JEE and all that. Now you have to find out the center of mass of this particular shape. So this is an arc of a circle. AB is the arc. Let us say O is the center, and radius is R. So how we are going to do it? It's a line element. Okay, line element. You have to see whether any symmetry is there or not. See, imagine one line here. This line, it is symmetric, right? So if I call this as X, if I call this as Y, this line symmetry about X. So the Y coordinate will be 0. That means if it has got some center of mass, let us say somewhere here, so its Y coordinate will be 0, X coordinate you have to find out. It is X bar comma 0. We have to find out X bar. So X bar is equal to, refer the yesterday's equation, X dl divided by dl. So why we are not calculating here? Why? Understood the reason? You have to calculate only the X bar. So here, how we are going to proceed? We are going to take a small element like we did yesterday. So this is that element. Okay. What is this small element making angle here? It will be making d alpha. If this is alpha, then this will be d alpha. Very small angle. All right. So we have to write these values now. So what is X? You have to put the polar coordinates. I told you that if at all this A point I am taking, it will have R cos alpha, R sin alpha. The polar coordinates, isn't it? So put those values here, and in the end we need to put the boundary condition. So X will be R cos alpha. Now dl. So dl is what? This small length is your dl. We have discussed this point. You know, this is dl, this is R, and this is d. It is d alpha. So what will be dl? dl will be S is equal to R theta. So it will be R d alpha. Again I did the same. We are using capital R as the radius, R cos alpha multiplied by R d alpha divided by R d alpha. Then after this you have to put only the limits. So you can see here, if you measure in this direction it is positive, then it will be minus in this direction. You can write minus alpha to plus alpha, but here since symmetry is there, I am doing only for the half. Because you see, when you do the integration, when symmetry is there, you know, yesterday also we have seen that the semicircular arch, we can do that from 0 to pi by 2. Yesterday you remember this example we have done. So we have integrated from 0 to pi by 2 only. So because this is symmetrical to this, isn't it? So even if you do from 0 to pi, you get the same answer I told you. You can do it, see. It is one of the properties in integration, you know. When symmetry is there, half the boundary you can integrate. This is the full boundary. I have done only for the half the boundary. So that is one concept in integration. Okay. So, so you can write it here 0 to alpha. If you want to be more technically correct, you should put 2 here, because half portion you are doing and you are adding to the another half portion. See, half portion I did into 2. So on the top also I will get 2, on the bottom also I will get 2. If I write 0 to alpha here, I have to write here, what is this dl? dl is a small length, you know. So if I add all this dl, this is one more 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 dl. If I add all this here, what will I get? I'll get the total length. So if I am doing from here to here, I am doing half length multiplied by 2. That is what it is. I need to just put 2 here. So this 2 will anyway cancel. So we are taking only half. We are taking only the upper half. Okay? No need to write this 2. Okay? Now this whole thing is applicable only if it is a symmetrical situation. The symmetry word is very important. Everywhere you cannot apply like that. Okay? Everywhere you cannot apply like that. Here there is a symmetry. That is why. Okay? So suppose here alpha, here beta angle was given, then you cannot use that. Here 30 degrees is there, here 45 degrees is there. You cannot use that. But here 30 degrees is there, here 30 degrees is there. See, this point looks very small. That alpha, for example, 30 degree, symmetrical, absolutely symmetrical. Imagine this as a pizza, you know. If I cut in the middle, the upper portion, the lower portion, no need to fight. It is absolutely same. But when I say this is 30 degree, 45 degree, then it is not symmetrical. Then the boundary condition you cannot put like this. In that situation, what you have to do? Suppose alpha, beta was there. If I am considering alpha as positive, anti-clockwise as positive, then I have to write in that case 0 to minus beta to alpha. Okay? We are talking about boundary conditions, how to put the boundary conditions. So, we are not doing that complicated case, we are doing a simple case. So, we are just putting 0 to alpha. So, just solve this now. So, there are 2 r's here, in denominator there is 1 r, it's a constant. So, you can cancel out 1 r. So, this becomes r 0 to alpha, 0 to alpha cos alpha d alpha divided by 0 to alpha d alpha, isn't it? So r integration of cos alpha, it is minus sin alpha, isn't it? Minus sin alpha को differentiate करेंगे तो cos alpha आएगा, so it is only sin alpha, no minus here. Okay? Anytime you get confused, integration of cos alpha d alpha is equal to sin alpha. I told you. Actually, it is sin alpha plus c. There is a constant term also. Okay? तो इसको differentiate करने से ये आना चाहिए. This is reverse process. If you get confused at any point of time, differentiate this, you should get this. Okay? Differentiation is reverse of integration. Forward direction integration. इसका आंसर ये. Reverse direction is differentiation. If you differentiate this, you get this. So if I am differentiating this, I am getting this. So this is correct. Because in this cos and sin always you get this confusion whether which is minus, which is plus and all those. So I just want to clear that out. R sin alpha from 0 to alpha divided by, this will become alpha. What are the boundary conditions? 0 to alpha. So put the upper boundary and lower boundary. You will get R. Put the upper boundary, it is R sin alpha minus, put the lower boundary, put 0 in the alpha place, sin 0 divided by alpha minus 0. Alright? So, what is the final expression now? It is R sin alpha divided by alpha. R sin alpha divided by alpha. So, we have used the integration approach to find out the centroid of this particular geometric shape. Using our regular technique, a1 x1 plus a2 x2 divided by a1 plus a2 and all those things, because it is a line element, l1 x1 plus l2 x2 divided by l1 plus l2, all those things. So this is the generic approach. This is the generic approach for geometric shapes which are not very like your regular plane geometry. Okay, so this is the approach we follow. Any other specific cases are there? You can come to me. I will tell you how to solve. I have taken some basic level questions. So just make a note of all this. Okay, take a screenshot. So let's move to another concept. Now we will talk about continuous mass distribution. ध्यान से सुनिए, this concept you should understand. Continuous mass distribution. Okay. Now, earlier when you have done these questions, M1 here, M2 here, this is a spherical ball. This is a spherical ball. Okay, let us say. So, two masses. You have found the center of mass, etc. So, this is a system. But what type of masses are these? These are called discrete mass systems. Discrete mass systems. मतलब अलग अलग, separate. Like this duster, this chalk. These are all discrete mass system. Now, continuous mass system means, suppose if I take a metallic rod. Now, this metallic rod, let us say length is 5 meters. Let us say 1 meter. So, this is made up of small pieces, isn't it? So, this itself is a system. Now, here the mass is distributed in this metallic rod. Now, that is a continuous mass distribution. Okay. So, this is a simpler case, but often you may have, you can have a wire like this. So, what is this? These are all, let us say if I take elements, these are all small pieces. When you add together, you get the total mass. Okay. So, this is a continuous mass distribution system. Okay. So, understood the difference between these two? This is let us say a big wire. This is a individual masses. So, for individual masses, you have seen how to do this. You have generally used that our general approach, A1 x1 plus A2 x2 and all those formula what you have seen, it is applicable to this. For continuous mass distribution system, how to find the center of mass? So, the only way of finding that is integration approach. Okay. So, continuous mass distribution, you will say that earlier also we have applied integration. No, sir, then what is that? Earlier what you have applied integration is for areas. This is for masses. Okay. So, here few things you have to know. Like, we talk here about mass distribution in terms of some terms. Let us say linear mass density. You will come across this term linear mass density. It is denoted by lambda. Then ध्यान से सुनिए. If I take a rod of length 1 meter, let us say it is 2 kg. Alright? If I cut it to half, this piece is left. What is the mass of this? Do you need any big mathematical calculations? No. It is 1 kg. If I make 1/4 piece, इसका भी मैं अगर half piece बनाता हूँ, तो this is left over. It is 1 divided by 2 kg. Further half you do, you are left with 1/4 kg. ठीक है? तो क्या हो रहा है? Half mass, half length. 1/4 mass, 1/4 length. 1/8 mass, 1/8 length. So the mass and length are proportional. The mass here is proportional to the length, isn't it? It's a very important point. So, for line elements, if I take a thin wire has a mass. A thin wire has a mass. If you take a metallic rod made up of iron, so it is a mass, So, how that mass, can we understand this mass in terms of, can we say that this mass is proportional to length when you are talking about line elements? Line elements we are talking about, isn't it? Line elements. So this must be equal to, this mass must be equal to some constant into length. This is called linear mass density. Matlab, the mass is uniformly distributed. Mass is uniformly distributed along this rod. If I take half length, I get exactly half kg. If I take 1 full length, I get 2 kg. If I get 3/4 length, I get how much? 3/4 of 2 kg. it is 3 by 2 kg. So it is uniform, right? So this is the relationship if you are talking about linear mass density. Similarly, there is a term called area mass density. Suppose if I take a plate, okay? The plate what we are eating, food or whatever. So this plate will have very less thickness, isn't it? This thickness will be very less, isn't it? This thickness will be very less. So this is our plate. So let us say this plate is 10 centimeter by 4 centimeter. So it will also have some mass. The plate where what we are having food, it is having some mass. If I break it to, let us say this plate has mass of 200 grams, let us say, just some hypothetical value I am taking. Right in the middle you have broken it, दो टुकड़े कर दिए. So this space you have taken out. What will be the mass of this? It will be 100 grams, isn't it? You made two pieces, that means this is A by 2, right? And this is how much mass? 100 grams. If you make 1/4 piece you take out, it will be 50 grams. That means what? The mass is uniformly distributed. The mass is not randomly distributed. The mass is uniformly distributed. That is why it is continuous mass distribution. Continuous mass distribution. We look for students who are continuously doing well, right from their 5th standard, 8th standard, 10th standard, 12th, engineering, whatever. Okay? Not 5th, 6th में कोई पढ़ाई नहीं किया, 8th में हम नंबर आ गए, 10th में फिर टॉपर बन गए, 11th में फेल हो गए, ऐसे नहीं. That is not continuous. Continuous means uniform. Okay? Continuous means uniform. Anywhere you take, it is in the same fashion. अगर मैं ये पीस को भी बाहर निकालता हूँ, so this piece is also 100 grams. So here M is proportional to area, or I can write it as M is equal to, here we use a term called sigma. Sigma. Okay? So we have not discussed about the unit here. Lambda का unit, M is mass, so kg divided by L in meters, kg per meter. So here M is equal to sigma A. So sigma units, M is kg, area is meter square. In the question they will give you the sigma value, they will give you, let us say, depending upon the question. Okay. Similarly, there is a third also. Suppose, what is the third left over? Volume. Volume mass density, it is denoted by, this is denoted by sigma, this is denoted by rho. These are standard notations. This is denoted by rho. These are all Greek alphabets. Okay. So here, let us say you have taken a watermelon. This is a watermelon, let us say. You can take watermelon, you can take onion. This watermelon has, let us say, it is 2 kg weight. इसका मैंने आधा टुकड़ा कर दिया, हाफ. तो आधा टुकड़े का वेट कितना होगा? अगर मेजर करोगे 1 kg होगा. 1/4 piece if I make, it will be 500 grams. Isn't it? So here what is happening? Here the mass is also uniformly distributed, but mass is proportional to volume. V is volume, or mass is equal to some constant into volume. What is this constant? Volume mass density. Volume mass density ratio. Okay. So what is the unit here? Rho will be in kg per meter cube. So often questions are given like this, and in which these terms are used, and you are asked to find out the center of mass. You are asked to find out the center of mass. Okay. So we will see one question, couple of questions on this. So take a screenshot and note down. See, the question can be given like this. if the linear density of a rod of length 5 meter varies as lambda is equal to 2 plus 3x, then find the position of center of mass. Okay, the question is like this. Okay, so here linear density is given to you and we have to find out. Now when we want to apply the integration approach, see, I just want to tell you again the basic formulas. See, like when you are calculating x bar, in the case of mass, m1 x1 plus m2 x2 plus so on divided by m1 plus m2 so on, isn't it? So this, when you want to write it in terms of integration approach, you can write x bar is equal to integration of x dm divided by dm. When you integrate all small masses, you get a total mass. So what is this? X multiplied by m. X is the centroid location, the center of mass location of the first mass. So dm is a small element. Okay. So when you use the integration approach, x bar is equal to x dm by integration of x dm by integration of dm. Y bar is equal to y dm by integration of dm, and z bar is equal to integration of z dm by integration of dm. What is this dm? It's a small mass. It's a very small mass. Okay, you can compare these two equations to remember it well. Often it leads to some confusion. Now this mass, what I am talking about, is a continuous mass. It's a continuous mass. If it's a discrete mass, you cannot use this formula. If it's a continuous mass only, you can use this formula. Continuous means there must be either some linear density, if you are talking about length, there must be some sigma, if it is area, there must be some rho, if it is what? A solid, like a sphere, like that watermelon. Okay, so here we have to find the center of mass. So the variation is given in terms of x, so obviously we have to find out x bar. So x bar will be given by x dm divided by integration of dm between the boundaries. So a rod of length 5 meters is said, from x is equal to 0 to x is equal to 5 will be the boundaries. From here to here you are integrating. What are all these small elements? These small elements are nothing but dm's. ओके, छोटा छोटा टुकड़ा लेकर के सबको जोड़ दिया मैंने, तो मुझे टोटल रॉड का मिल जाएगा. So this is the approach we have to take. Now here dm we have to find out. So just now we have seen that m is proportional to L, isn't it? Or m is proportional to L, that is m is equal to lambda L we have seen. So here what is the length here? Here the what is the mass? Chota mass dm. dm must be equal to lambda times dx. देखो L जो है ना ये टोटल लेंथ, dx क्या है? छोटा सा टुकड़ा, राइट? सो वी हैव सीन दैट लैम्डा इज कांस्टेंट, यू नो. अगर आप फुल लेंथ लेते हैं, इफ यू टेक द फुल लेंथ यू गेट द टोटल मास. इफ यू टेक हाफ लेंथ you get half mass. If you take 1/4 length, you get 1/4 mass. So this mass is distributed along the length equally. So if for the total mass it is lambda L, even for the small mass it is lambda into dx. This is the main point you have to catch. This is the main point. Okay. So in other way, if you want to understand, this 5 meter length, let us say 10 kg. How much will be 2.5 meter length? It will be 5 kg. How much will be 0.25 length? It will be 10 divided by 100, isn't it? So these are the mass ratios, these are the length ratios. This is your dx, this is your L. So L by dx is equal to m divided by dm, right? L by dx is equal to m divided by dm. So just cross multiply, you want dm, no? So dm is equal to m by L into dx. Now what is this m by L? M by L, is it not lambda? Lambda dx. This is the most important point. अगर इसको समझ गए तो it is always clear in your head. अगर यहाँ पे lambda दिया है, dm will be lambda dx. First point. If area was given, dm would have been sigma. यहाँ पर x नहीं आएगा तब एरिया आएगा dA. अगर वॉल्यूम दिया होता, सॉरी सिग्मा आएगा, सिग्मा वॉल्यूम दिया होता dV. These three you should understand very clearly. That is the concept involved in this. Okay, okay. dm is equal to lambda dx. How it has come, I have explained. So dm is equal to sigma dA. If this question was some area related, then it would have been sigma dA. If this question was volume related, dm is equal to rho dV. Okay, V is volume, A is area, and dx is the length part. So here now the question becomes integration of x. X is what? Whichever location you are taking, that x is the center of mass of that particular element. Suppose you are taking this as the reference line, and if I am taking element here, what will be the center of mass of this element? This will be x bar only, na? So we can directly write x here. Okay? Listen again. This x is the center of mass location. So I am taking reference line like this. So this is my element. So is this element will have some center of mass? It is here. So what is that? It is x only, no? If I have taken this as the reference line, it is not x. It is L minus x, 5 minus x. If I have taken this, but I have taken this, so the reference is x only. So x remains x into dm. dm is what? Lambda into dx. Okay, just write down. I am going to erase this. Take a screenshot. All this portion you write neatly. Okay. So x into dm. Now dm is equal to lambda dx. So lambda value is given in the question as 2 plus 3x. So 2 plus 3x into dx divided by integration of dm, which is again lambda dx. It is 2 plus 3x dx. Between what is the unknown here? What is the variable thing? X. X is varying between 0 to 5. So x is equal to 0 to x is equal to 5. इसके बाद तो पूरा मैथ्स है फिर. Okay? Any bio student who is finding integration difficult, some basics of integration I have put in the bridge course. My same YouTube channel, you can go to the playlist. There is a playlist called bridge course where I have solved some basic level questions so that you are able to solve. For math student, integration should not be an issue because later on you will be doing all these integrations only. So just know the procedure. Just see how I am doing it. Okay. So we need to solve this now. This is a definite integral because the boundaries are given. So start calculating. This is the step I am putting here. So this is equal to x bar is equal to integration of multiply 2x plus 3x x 3x square. This is dx divided by ये कितना है 2 plus 3x dx. ठीक है. From 0 to 5, 0 to 5. For solving this, one only simple formula you have to know is integration of x power n dx is equal to x power n plus 1 by n plus 1. This is what you are supposed to know. Okay. So we will write this. I will solve separately. This is some x bar is equal to numerator by denominator. Numerator by denominator. Let us first calculate the numerator. Numerator is equal to, start applying this formula, x power n dx. So यहाँ पे 2x है, x will become, when you integrate, x square by 2. Right? This time, this will become 3x cube by 3. X power n plus 1 divided by n plus 1. Put x is equal to 2 here. This becomes x power 3 by 3. This is what it is. So the boundary limits are from 0 to 5. So solve it. This becomes x square plus x cube from 0 to 5. So put the upper boundary into lower boundary. This becomes 5 square plus 5 cube minus 0 square minus 0 cube. I have first put the 5 upper boundary, then put the lower boundary. This is anyway 0. 5 square plus 5 cube, 25 plus 125, 150. So the numerator value is 150. Okay. Now let us find out the denominator value. Denominator is equal to, you see here, 2 dx. 2 integration of 2 dx will become 2x. 2x from 0 to 5 plus. Now this is 3x. X will become x square by 2. When you integrate using this, you get x square by 2. So it is 3x square by 2 from 0 to 5. So this is 5 minus 0. You can pull this 2 out, it is a constant. So 3 by 2 into 5 square minus 0 square. So 2 into 5, 10. And this is 5 square, 25. 25 into 3 by 2. 25 to 1.5. 25 plus 12.5, it is 37.2. So it is 47.5. So what is your total answer now? Numerator by denominator, x bar is equal to 150 divided by 47.5. Whatever you get is your answer. What is the answer? So it is 150 divided by 47.5. I got 31.57. I got, how you can get 31.57? Maybe 3.157. 3.157. Okay, it is 150 by 47, no? 3 times. 3.157. Okay, so this is the approach you have to adopt for continuous mass distribution problems. Okay, so and so let us see if we can so with this I will conclude today's class. Let's move on to, let's see in the next class some more concepts we will see. Okay, just make a note of all these points. So today we have learned about continuous mass distribution. If vectors are given, how to calculate the center of mass, and we have seen one more example on integration approach. Start solving from the material what has been given to you or the books you are following, and post your doubts. I'll try to answer back. Okay, take care. Bye.